Hey, thanks so much for clicking on this video and welcome to the Haves and the Have-Nots review here on YouTube. If you're a fan of Tyler Perry, you've come to the right place. Be sure to click that subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also check me out on these social media platforms, and links in the description below will lead you to my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook group, and Facebook page. Once again, thanks for joining in and enjoy the video. All right, have not fans. I'm probably going to get a headache trying to even figure out what to title this video, but the basic answer is, well, who is Geoffrey's real father? But then that leads to the, well, what about Derek? I thought Derek had the lion tattoo, meaning he would be Candace's real father. But then on top of that, Geoffrey's father and yada yada yada, and okay. Well, let me just put it this way. I have done videos covering all of these topics. I've done at least 2 or 3 videos talking about how Candace's father is Derek or Derek is Candace's father. I've done probably over half a dozen videos about Derek having a lion tattoo. And I've done 1 or 2 videos about Derek being Geoffrey's father. And then another video about are Geoffrey and Candace half siblings. And instead of spamming the channel with like 7 videos on the same topic, I'm just going to kind of lump them all together here. Basically, the question is, who is Geoffrey's real father? And I guess you could say an even more important question above that is, was Veronica lying? Honestly, it could be either way with her, but for simplicity's sake, let's just say that she wasn't lying. But it is kind of weird to think about it, because maybe I'll just title this video, Was Veronica Lying About Geoffrey's Father? Maybe. I think maybe that's the easier way to put it. Here's my thing with this. Veronica has a problem because, okay, I'm trying to use an analogy here. Let's just picture a mug. A mug that's brand new, no cracks, no wear and tear. Let's just say the mug represents the Harrington family. The thing about Veronica, she wants this mug to be absolutely perfect. No stains, no chips, no cracks or anything. But the problem is, anything she deems unclean or would tarnish the condition of that mug, she will do whatever it takes to remove that little speck out of the corner. Like, imagine there's a handle on the mug and a little speck here is Geoffrey's homosexuality, and then there's a little crack at the very bottom, and that represents Veronica's paranoia about David being having an affair. Instead of accepting that little speck and that little crack, she will do whatever it takes to eliminate it, even if that means destroying the mug completely. Like, imagine her trying to get rid of Geoffrey's homosexuality, or I guess it's hard to even say if getting rid of it is the correct term, because she over the seasons it seems like she's been more oblivious to it, not even willing to accept that he's gay. She just tries to pawn it off on something else. Justin, you're the reason my son's acting this way, and it's just a phase he's going through or whatever. Instead of accepting it, imagine also blackmailing him with the black sedan to get him in line, setting up the whole pregnancy with Melissa, the engagement. Imagine all of that stuff is what's making the mug begin to become more damaged. Even so with David, all the time she accused him of being with Maggie Day and he didn't. Then with Erica and all this other stuff, and that causes the mug to just crack into like a million pieces. And instead of moving on to like another mug and to have that other mug represent her own life, let my son live the life he wants to live. Me and my husband got a divorce, so I'm going to live my best life. I ain't going back and forth with you. You know what I mean? Instead of representing a new mug to just represent her own life, she decides, I'm going to take these broken pieces and I'm going to put them back together with my bare hands, even if I get cut and I bleed everywhere. That's Veronica. She is willing to do whatever it takes to keep that mug together, when in reality, she could have just loved and accepted it the way that it was. But since it wasn't perfect, she would rather have the entire thing destroyed than just accept her family for the way they are. Basically, that mug represents the Harrington dynasty, if you will. And if there's even a speck of dust, Veronica will just, what did she say? Hurricane Veronica will just come and destroy it. That's the best way I can break down who Veronica is as a person. I hope you follow me with that one. Now, when it comes down to the father thing, you're probably wondering, well, Jeremy, based off that analogy, it seems like Veronica wouldn't want anything to tarnish the Harrington name. I mean, she's always been obsessed with carrying on the Harrington bloodline. So what sense would it make for her to have a son outside of her marriage with David? And there's a car alarm going off in the parking lot. So what sense would it make for her to have a baby outside of her marriage to David, but then, you know, talk about the Harrington bloodline and all this stuff and try to get a grandchild? What sense would that make? Well, you're absolutely right. That could mean Veronica was lying and Geoffrey is David's son, because it wouldn't make much sense for her to take a son that was born from another man who wasn't a Harrington and then try to raise him up to be, you know, the carrier of the bloodline. But one could argue that she could just, I don't know, just refuse to claim she made a mistake. I don't know. For all we know, maybe there was a time where she thought that David was cheating and decided to sleep outside of their marriage, which resulted in the pregnancy of Geoffrey. But it turned out David wasn't cheating. And then, you know, instead of admitting to her mistake, she just had the baby anyway. And that was it. It would not put me, I would not put that past Veronica. I'm going to be completely honest here. Remember, what was it? Catherine said that for Veronica's birthday party, she became paranoid that David was having an affair, and because he was acting all secretive. But in reality, the woman who Veronica thought David was having an affair with was the party coordinator who he was working with to set up her birthday party. So she was suspicious for nothing. Honestly, I could see Veronica doing that, because we do know she's had sex with Catherine's father. We do know she's had sex with that Judge Gilman before. We know she's had sex with Derek before, and who knows how many other people. And we don't know if these sexual encounters occurred either before or during her marriage with David. That's something we need to keep in mind here. So I'm not going to lie. It would not surprise me if Veronica knew that Geoffrey was not their son, but then decided to, you know, raise him up to be the perfect Harrington. I could see that happening. I mean, another thing is, like, what if they adopted? Well, it was clearly stated that, you know, after some miscarriages and whatnot, and after many tries, they finally had a child. So literally, you know, Geoffrey is their son. So, well, excuse me, is Veronica's son. David is in doubt. So we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, the most popular theory is that, well, Derek is probably Geoffrey's father. I mean, and then by extension, what if he's Candace's father, making them half siblings? That's possible. Then what if the hitman is also Geoffrey's father? Well, what if the hitman is Geoffrey's father, just based off how he interacts with Veronica? It seems like it's not the first time those two have met before. Who knows? And could it be somebody we've never seen before? That's possible. And people are like, what if it's Catherine's father? I'm going to go out on a limb here. The same thing. I look at Geoffrey's father, the mystery of Geoffrey's father. I look at that in the same vein as, you know, who killed Amanda. Whoever is Geoffrey's father and whoever pulled the trigger on Amanda, those people need to be alive for the sake of the plot, because it wouldn't make a damn lick of sense in my mind in terms of good storytelling if the person who's Geoffrey's father isn't even alive to show up. I think that's bad, unless we get some flashbacks or something, because I feel like with the whole my real father, there's going to be a storyline where Geoffrey looks for them and finds them, and then, you know, and then, oh, well, you may have given, you know, allowed me to give, you know, to be alive, but David Harrington was the one that was there for me my whole life. So, you know, sappy story. We know how that works. But I want to be completely honest here. Yeah, I might title this video, "Was Veronica Lying About Geoffrey's Father?" or something like that. But I think that if somebody who wasn't David is the father, I'm going to just go out there and say it was Derek. But then I think that's like wonky with the storyline, because I think, didn't Derek say it was like 15 years or so ago he got out of jail or something, and we can assume that Veronica was the one that got him out, and that's how he started his new life as a honest man, working hard. And then he, got married and had kids, but he did say his 3 sons are college age and are all into sports, so technically 15 years. Unless he was actually met the woman who would be his wife and then had the 3 sons, but then did one more job that got him back into jail. Then Veronica got him out, and then they had sex, and then he went back to his straight and narrow life. So I don't know, maybe Derek wouldn't be the father based off timeline because Geoffrey is in his 20s. So see what I mean? The more you look at it, the more confusing it gets. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Number 1, do you think Veronica was lying about the fact that David Harrington is not Geoffrey's father? Number 2, do you think that Geoffrey's father is Derek? Number 3, do you think that Geoffrey will ever find out the truth behind that statement? And number 4, if David is not Geoffrey's father, do you think he knows that he's not Geoffrey's father? Or do you think he doesn't know? Like Veronica covered, it's like she stepped out on the marriage and then, of course, had sex with David. And at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, she got pregnant, but David doesn't realize it was by another man. So there's that aspect of it. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, because as I keep saying time and time again, even though the show is on hiatus, the channel is not. New content will still be coming out. And I don't know about y'all, but actually I do know a lot of y'all saying the same thing. I do hope we get it. And if Loving You Is Wrong teaser promo at some point in the near future, just so we can know when the show is coming back on.